Tyler Tolman. I'm in Byron Bay, Australia, and today I'd just like to share a few of the tools that I have. I've had a few people ask about them recently, so I figured I would share with you. A lot of you out there know my father. His name is Don Tolman, and Don Tolman heard about a little meal that's talked about in the Old Testament of the Bible in Daniel 1:12. Daniel says, "Give us pulse to eat and water to drink." And it says that Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego spent 3 years eating this food called pulse and drinking water in the times of Babylon with King Nebuchadnezzar. And King Nebuchadnezzar basically tested thousands of young men after a 3-year period and found that none were smarter than Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And in fact, he found them to be 10 times more intelligent than even the king's learned men. So my father, Don Tolman, heard about this little story when he was a kid and was really intrigued by it. And as he got out of college, he actually decided to travel around the world for 17 years, studying different cultures and looking at the different types of food that they ate and studying the different types of languages and just learning all about these different cultures. One of the major cultures that he looked into was the Egyptians. Now, the Egyptians used mathematics of phi and pi, sacred geometry, in all of their building. And they also used it in their language. And if you look at the pyramids, if you look at the Sphinx, if you look at the Eye of Ra or the Eye of Horus, they are actually mathematical equations. And so they were applying these principles of mathematics to their architecture, to their artwork, but also they were applying it to their foods. And he started digging and finding out that they were using the principles of mathematics in combining very specific foods. They knew that things grew under the ground, right on the ground, and above the ground, and that the body had 3 levels as well, from the navel to the bottom of the foot, from the navel to the throat, and from the throat to the top of the head. And they saw these correlations in nature. And eventually my father found a scroll that had the exact ratios of nuts and seeds and grains in this food called pulse, which we now sell and make. Pretty awesome stuff. But one thing that people have been asking about is this thing called the white stone Carillon. And while my dad was in Egypt, he learned of these pure quartz crystal bowls, these quartz crystal crucibles that were in the shape of an egg, kind of like this. All of creation comes from an egg shape. Our planet is actually more of an egg shape. It's not perfectly spherical like a lot of people think. It's more of an egg shape. They basically had these things back in Egypt. They dug one up. It had a blue powder that was put on it, and it had hieroglyphics all around it. And they used to use this in their hierosonic chambers. Now, hieroglyphic, hiero means sacred. So hieroglyph means a sacred writing, and hierosonic means sacred sound. They taught that there were certain principles and energetic systems within the body, kind of like many other Eastern religions, that there are 7 chakras. Now, they believed that there was a key to tuning the entire system of the body, and this key they called, in the past, the key of David. And it has to do with the 4th and the 5th chakras. There's actually a song about it called Hallelujah. And it says it goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall, the major lift. And it's talking about this key of David. And it's basically an F sharp and a G flat. And they had these quartz crystal crucibles that I believed they used in training for the priests and the different people that were being taught many things, to bring about certain states of consciousness, certain levels of awareness, and also for imprinting thought. They know that when you speak with a perfect tone or produce a sound with a perfect tone that matches the perfect tone of this crystal bowl, it's 2 tones being made and a 3rd tone is produced. When you can perfectly match your voice to this bowl, it produces a 3rd tone that comes out of nowhere. And they know when this 3rd tone comes into being that it creates all kinds of amazing things. And your thoughts become a reality. So Dr. Mitchell Gaynor, if you look him up, he's written a book called Vibrational Medicine. by Dr. Mitchell Gaynor. And he works with terminally ill cancer patients, young children, older people that have gone through chemotherapy and other things that haven't been able to get over the cancer. He'll actually take them in with this crystal bowl and play it and go through all kinds of really cool, intentional processes for healing the body. So this is just one of the tools that was found. And another tool that was found in Egypt was these interesting glyphs on the temple. They broke into a temple and found these interesting glyphs that nobody could figure out what it was, until one day a scientist eating an apple let his eyes go lazy and saw all kinds of 3D images pop out of the wall. So we've reintroduced these two products based on the same exact ratios mathematically as the bowl found in Egypt. You've probably seen these out there, crystal bowls, and the bowls that you see come from the semiconductor industry. I believe that computers and microprocessors and all that technology was rediscovered from Egypt because these bowls were rediscovered. They started making them, and when you have a flat-bottomed bowl, those are the bowls that they use to actually grow microprocessors in. Well, my father believed, well, you know, they're using these for microprocessors, but why not go back and get the original crystal bowls and make one exactly on the same specifications as the ones that used to be made and used in Egypt? So he actually flew to Toshiba and worked with the people there to have this exact bowl made. Where am I at time-wise?
6 minutes.
6 minutes, cool. So what he realized is when you make the bowl in this exact proportion, there was something that was talked about called the Eidolon sphere, which means an astral double or an apparition. He talks about the pupils of the past, and a pupil meant a student, but it also meant a